If you want an idea of how old I am, I remember a time when there were smoking sections inside of restaurants. Places like Tim Hortons, which is a coffee chain in Canada and the United States for the 5 people who watch my videos from Norway for some reason. Tim Hortons, they used to have this cordoned off area at the side of the restaurant where all of the smokers could sit and marinate in their own toxic clouds. Imagine selling that at a board meeting. Alright, restaurant executives who are very real and definitely exist, and I'm not just speaking to a wall right now. We're getting a lot of feedback that the time it takes to consume a meal is really interfering with our customers' ability to chain smoke near kids. But I believe I've found the solution. This glass box of ashy skin manufacturing plant. So here's what we do. We quarantine this malignant fog bank into a transparent cube in our establishment. That way, those inside can see out into our brighter, cleaner world, and Child Protective Services can see right in. And now there's a huge gap between smoking and non-smoking, to the point where Las Vegas is pretty much the only place where you could still smoke indoors. Because let's face it, if you're there, you've already sold your concern for your own well-being for beer money and one more blackjack hand because it's gonna come back around. And you can feel that difference immediately. Like the second that you step over the border into Vegas, your entire body shrivels up into one giant crow's foot. That's why it's so dry there, because the entire atmosphere is bogged down with nothing but people exhaling concentrated lung disease out into the world. And it's the right place for it, because Las Vegas is the only place where it makes sense to get cancer and die early, because that'll be more money left in the kids' college fund. Las Vegas is also the only place where the best taco I had was from a truck outside a gas station by the freeway. That's like going to Jakarta to get a sex change operation and then being pleasantly surprised by how well your surgeon overcame having a grand total of 6 fingers. I can describe that entire city in one sentence. There are slot machines inside the convenience stores. So you can go in and buy a frozen pizza, and by the time you leave, you don't even have enough money for the winning lottery ticket you need to also buy in order to pay back your loan shark before he visits you with an aluminum bat. And I'd love an explanation as to how I spent a week in a city that has a murder every 2 weeks and I wasn't even grazed with a bullet. I feel ripped off. If you didn't see Mickey Mouse during your entire trip to Disneyland, you'd extract your wasted money directly out of Walt Disney's skeletal rectum. Or you'd at least expect a dick pic from Goofy as some kind of refund, and you'd deserve both. So why, on this hell of a planet, wasn't I at least threatened with a switchblade for my empty wallet? To be honest, it's probably because I was in downtown Vegas, and nobody in downtown Vegas has walking around money, because if they did, they wouldn't be in downtown Vegas. To be clear, downtown Vegas is not the Strip. It's called Fremont Street, and it's for people who already lost all their money but they don't want to leave because the burgers are good. The difference is like Coke and Coke Zero. It's the same great taste minus any of the calories. So Vegas Classic is like a pricey escort that you order out of a catalog who shows up to your penthouse suite naked under a fur coat with a bag of China White. And Vegas Zero is like a hooker that you found on the street with a peg leg who pulls a plastic wrapped ball of black tar heroin out of her asshole and insists that you keep the motel door room unlatched in case she needs to make a quick escape. When I was on the Strip, a small man approached me and offered to supply me with strippers and designer drugs. When I was downtown, I saw 2 homeless men split a mayonnaise sandwich on a bus stop bench, and I didn't have the heart to tell them that their bus was never coming. So it's either that, or nobody messed with me because anyone bold enough to throw cash around in that cesspit commands respect. Kinda like you never hear about anyone being attacked by sharks while skinny dipping. Because if you swim naked in shark-infested waters, you must have a dick the size of a cudgel, and anything that gets an up-close and personal look at a shaft so big that you're not afraid to dangle it in front of the most feared predator on Earth is gonna leave you alone forever. Regardless of sharks, if you swim naked in any large body of water, you're asking for trouble. Man or woman, those are some sensitive parts that, if exposed to a current, will all too easily wiggle around like a bait worm in distress. Why are you so eagerly giving jellyfish a chance to wrap their junk around your junk, or worse, stick their junk up inside your junk out of curiosity? There are stationary creatures that, in order to reproduce, extend their dicks out into the world freely until they find and fill a hole. Maybe that hole's yours. Next thing you know, you're filling out a report with a lifeguard because you got violated by a tentacle. All because you wanted to get naked in a lukewarm, salty pool. Could have just stayed home and pissed on yourself in the shower. Oh my god. That Coke and Coke Zero joke took like 15 tries to get it all in one take. And at one point I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna separate them. I'm gonna do the one and then the other separate and then just cut them, but nah, man. I got commitment to the craft.